Hello, my dear friends, my lovely audience. Welcome to the show. Last show I changed the setting, and I got a good response already. Feedback saying, "All right, there's more room here. It's more kind of like subtle, right? Good."
Yeah.
And today with me, we're still talking about the old subject that we did last week. Reason being that we did the first show with my good friend Stephen Hanley, a financial planning advisor. We got lots of response, interest in the subject, and we decided to do the second time.
Okay.
The second time we stretched to cover even those detailed plans, how you want to do it, how you can do it, how you can start young and end up rich. Not necessarily super rich, but rich enough to take the rest of your life easy, right? And this time, my God, I got respond huge response in profusion,
Okay.
right? Especially those mother. I got a call from my friends who are mothers of their kids, asking, "Can you do more,
Okay.
one more time, talking about how we want to change the lifestyle of a young man to get them into it."
Okay.
And I think it is a very positive recommendation.
Yeah.
So I took it and I called my friend Steve Hunley. He's got a meeting. I just dragged him over from a meeting.
Okay.
And well, of course, everybody knows the importance about how to about teaching our young people, right? Okay. So my friend, my good friend Stephen Hunley, backbone of the community, planner of the financial planner and advisor. So, sir, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you, Jack. Thanks for having me.
Once again. All right. And like I said in the lead line, that you have quite a charisma established here already. Lots of people buy you. They like the philosophy, and even they like your plan better.
Yeah.
Right. So today we want to answer those questions that my audiences put up.
Okay.
So they're saying that we know, of course, if you started young, question is, if you started young, you do a lump sum, not a big lump sum, like a regular or constant lump sum of money, just to put it aside and see if you didn't get it. You go by the month, by the year, on and on. When you are 35, 45, 55, whatever, or even 65, and you end up really like a person, something like that, right? The mothers say, how we want to change the lifestyle. Thing is that whatever I put for my son, my daughter, something like that, they just live the same thing they live.
Yeah. Well, you know,
what they do, they give them a credit card and they go on.
Okay. They give them a credit card. If you look at credit card companies, where do they market? Where do they go? They go to schools. When they have an open house at a major university, believe me, MasterCard, American Express, Visa, they're all there. The reason is because they want to start those people young. They want to be able to get them in the card, and they want to have that. When I'm 19 years old, have that card in my hand, and I can go into Starbucks and buy, you know, a $5.50 latte. That's a lot of power. It's an awful lot of power.
Yeah, you're right. You feel good about it.
Oh yeah, you feel great.
Good.
I can buy anything I want. I can walk in. I have a $25,000 credit limit. I buy a car, right? You know. The issue is that debt never goes away. Now you get to be 30 years old. You want to buy. You got a wife, 2 kids. You want to buy a house. Well, that credit it affects your credit score because the lower your credit score, the higher your rate's going to be. So I think it's a matter of education. I mean, there is good debt in this world. Good debt is if you buy a house, yeah, you're going to go into debt for it, but you're going to get some tax advantages. You're going to get some equity, that type of thing. There's bad debt when you're I've seen people walk in and buy a pack of gum with a credit card. Okay, a pack of gum is $2 at 17% interest, compounded year after year after year. It's like it's like a $50 piece of gum. You know, the math catches up with you.
Make a lot of sense. Make a lot of sense. And the confusion is that exactly you're running two ways.
Right.
You're running two ways. We, for example, you and I now, we're trying to promote a culture that would lead our kids to change their lifestyle.
Right.
And then on the other side, the insurance company, the banks, the credit card company, try to teach them to start young,
right?
To borrow money from them. Okay, we have the money. All right, we have the money. How much you want?
Yeah,
go ahead and borrow. And then we're seeing like two trains going against each other.
Right. Yeah, you're seeing banks which own credit card companies want to make as much money as possible. Whatever amount of money they make, they want to make more. And where can they target those people? Well, they target younger people coming out of college. But when people are in school, and I've been in college, they never taught you about how to deal with credit, how to deal with the finances. They teach you theory, they teach you, believe me, microeconomics or macroeconomics or business or whatever. But they never teach you, okay, how do you handle a credit card? How do you handle credit? What is good credit? What is bad credit? Where are your goals? What is your goal? I mean, your goal is to graduate from college, but do you have other goals?
Yeah. Good debt, bad debt.
That's right.
Good credit, bad credit.
That's right.
Something like that. All right. Okay. Now, I give you my example. I don't know if that's a good example. I'm going to double check with you and double check with my audience. If you confirm what I do is a good plan, well, I'll introduce it to my audiences.
Right.
I have a son, 22 years old.
Right.
Right. I really hate to be for him on his own. I really cover him a lot.
Right.
In addition to whatever he makes himself, okay, which is good, still good, right?
Right.
I always cover so that I gave him a credit card when he was 17 years old, I believe.
Okay.
17 years old. It's not actually a credit card. It's kind of a credit card attached to the account.
Yeah.
Something like that. Automatic pay, something like
right.
that. With that credit card, it has a big line of credit. And it has a backup account which is linked to my checking.
Right.
Of course, it has not endless resources, but still good enough. Yet, even till these days, anytime he spend more than 20, he got to call me to confirm it.
Right.
He got a confirmation, he go ahead.
Yeah.
If he doesn't, he never gets the money. And the rule, he still obeys today.
Good.
Is that a good thing to recommend?
That's an excellent thing, because what you've done is you've put a cap on his credit.
A cap,
you said, okay.
20.
Here's, you got $20, whatever it is, a quarter or a year, a month, or whatever you set it up for. And anything over that, it sets off an alarm, essentially. He has to come to you and say, listen, Dad, I need to buy a new pair of shoes. It's $50. I only have $20 in my credit card. Can I overspend it?
What I did was that every time each spending no more than 20.
Right.
Below 20, you can go ahead and decide. However, that doesn't mean you can do 100 times the 20.
That's right.
Right? Go ahead. If you go like over 3 times a day for 20,
right,
you also have to report to me.
Oh, yeah.
To get my approval.
Yeah.
Right. Other than that, in other words, I kind of shrink himself within the restriction of maximum $60 per day.
Right.
Something like that.
Right.
That's not small money.
No, it's not. But
that's not small money.
But you have it's your money. It's essentially your money because you're paying off the debt.
Yeah. All right.
But it looks at. But I think it's a brilliant idea to put a cap on a credit card. Kid goes out in the world. Okay. Yeah, they need money maybe to buy books or school supplies or what have you.
Okay.
But anything over that, it sets off an alarm. And credit card companies can set that up for you, where they'll say, okay,
call them.
Well, you get an alert. They actually send you an alert in your phone. Hey, we just saw somebody charge your credit card for $50.
All right.
You said to call you at 20, so they send you an automatic message.
I see.
Then you go, oh.
All right.
My son is.
Thank you for confirming that plan.
That's a really good idea.
Because I probably can introduce my plan to my son. My son is so good.
Yeah.
He's a straight A student. He obeys. He loves the family. He does the housework.
Good.
He takes care of the trash thing. By the way, I have lots of trash.
Okay.
He does all that.
Okay.
And he washes his own car. Wow. And never goes to car wash himself. And I didn't say no, but he restricted himself within range.
Good
say,
for him.
hey, I can wash my own car, Except this part. I say, go ahead, you make a few dollars yourself. Okay, you do.
Yeah.
Right, which is good, always a training. Now, if you're touching my money, here's the card. You had it since you were 19,
Right.
no, 17, and then go ahead, do it. Still the same rule, follow until I change the rule.
Okay. That's fine. That works. Because now you're working as a team.
All right.
Now, and now he's also understanding the long-term effects of credit.
Something recommendable.
Yeah.
Is that so?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, I'm very
idea.
glad, my dear audience, something recommendable that I created that I can introduce to you. Today with me, my good friend, Stephen Hunley, a financial advisor. Not only does he plan my money, I don't have a lot of money, an easy job, all right, 5 minutes work every month or something like that. But also he really wants to be helpful to the community. So thank you for the set of mind, and thank you for your time. Let's take a very short moment out.
Okay.
When we come back, we really have to talk about the rich families.
Okay.
And some, when they call me, I know they're rich.
All right.
That doesn't mean rich family doesn't have a mother that cares about the son, the daughter's lifestyle, right? Okay, now stay with us, please. Hello, my lovely audience, my dear friends. Welcome back to the show, Jack Zhao on the East West Show. Like I said, every time when the politics is not that tight, they are not making big deals at the White House or the Congress whatsoever. We try to sneak in to talk about some life necessities, right? Very subtle, very grassroots subject. However, that is so related to your day-to-day life. Okay, with my friend Stephen Hunley, financial advisor, I'm learning a lot. I'm learning to arrange my own self. I'm learning to arrange my son, family, stuff like that. And for twice we did shows, and we got more and more response each time. So the last show we did, I got the most response. And only this time, I got lots of parents asking me how they want to handle with their kids. Although money is not an issue among these questions, talking about reverses of money, there's a lifestyle change that called for, right? And I mentioned about some parents calling me. Among those parents who call me, there are parents like me who barely make ends meet. Really have to be watchful, eyes peeled, to watch dollars, like that, my kind. And the other group is they are relatively rich. Rich to an extent, they do not have to watch the money like I do. Right? Yet, they call me with the same question. They say, we know that we are spoiling our kids. How do you recommend? And he says, how do you ask your advisor to recommend that they can shape their kids into a positive or a healthy lifestyle?
Okay, so that's great, but the same kind of rules apply. You know, if you're spoiling your child, if the kid says, I want a new car every year or whatever they want, you know, there has to be a value placed on money. You know, you work for your money, you get value for it, okay? If you're going to continue to think, but one of these days, things are going to change. Because if the parents are not going to be there, you know, how is the money going to be transferred to the parent?
You're right.
I don't know.
You're right.
You know, that's usually done with
if something happens to the family, to the family, to the parents. Right?
Yeah, because there are countless cases in the financial world of very wealthy parents who gave their kids a tremendous inheritance, and the kid blew it in a year, and then they were living out of their car a year later. You know, and that's very common. There's lots of the cases.
They did the worst thing they could.
You still have to teach the child about money. What is the value of it? How does it work? You know, and also the self-esteem factor. that if you're working for your money, if it's that, if I'm going out working at McDonald's and I get a paycheck, that's my paycheck. I earned that money, doing whatever I was doing. So, but the same laws apply. You're going to have credit. You're going to have to deal with taxation down the road. You're going to have to deal with the fact that if you squander all that money, nobody's going to be crying on your shoulder saying, oh, here's $1 million back. We're sorry you spent it.
The problem is that you have a parents, you have a shoulder to cry on.
Yeah.
What if you don't, right? And nobody will live forever.
That's right.
With you, right? Okay. Down to the point. Okay. Let's do point by point.
Okay.
Do you think it's a good idea to let the 18-year, 20-year-old son or boy or girl to drive a Lamborghini?
No, I don't.
All right. That's why I'm asking.
Because if you buy a Lamborghini, what's next? Seriously, when you get to be 25 years old, do you expect mom and dad to buy you a jet?
All right.
Or,
Of course, correct me if I say anything wrong.
Right.
Well, my dear audiences, I have no problem with how much money you have. Right. I just really see the risky thing for you to allow your 20-year-old drive a Lamborghini or Ferrari.
Yeah.
All around the street, making huge noises, whatever. Okay, my bottom line is, like I said, correct me if I'm wrong, as long as it has 4 tires, has a 1 wheel, and moves around safely, it is a car, right?
It's a car.
It's a car. Yeah. So do you think parents, no matter, regardless they're rich, they're not rich, should teach their children to feel comfortable in the quote-unquote, what I say, car?
Yes. I think that parents should, it's a teaching moment, okay? Because if the child is driving a Maserati every year, and you're buying it for him, one day, what's going to happen when you're not around?
Yes, of course.
What's going to happen? So you teach the child to have value, that a car is a fairly big asset, that you use it basically for transportation, that it's not, you don't show it off or whatever. And if you read the statistics, most people who are very, very wealthy do not drive Lamborghinis or Maseratis. They drive Hondas. They drive a Toyota.
I'm more interested in what Bill Gates is driving.
Yeah, Bill Gates drives a Honda. So does Warren Buffett.
All right, Warren Buffett does that.
But so it's not a symbol of wealth, okay? It's a symbol of opulence. It's a symbol of, oh, we got so much money, we're gonna think. But don't you want to have the child?
That is a culture call, isn't it?
Right. So don't you want the child, as they grow up, to respect what you've done in your life to provide all this funds and assets? Eventually, someday they'll hopefully be passed to the child. And what is the child going to do? What do you want for that child?
They got to learn. They got to learn to understand where money came from.
That's right.
Right? And then they want to follow the parents' footsteps.
Right.
To work as hard as they do to earn the same amount of money.
Right.
If not more. Like that kind, right?
Yeah. Not
just learning to feel comfortable laying on the money. I give you a good example.
Okay.
It's a story, as a matter of fact. It's a long story about a rich father. I really hate to make the to give the name, right? He has a hotel in London as regular visit, and his hotel room is the cheapest of the whole entire hotel.
Okay.
And his son also is a acquaintance of the same hotel, right? However, his room is the best, the very best, right? And then on and on, the clerk knew the father and the son. And so one day at a certain point, the clerk asked the father, how come your room is the cheapest and your son is always the best?
Right.
And do you know what the answer is?
No.
He says, oh, the answer is easy. His father is a billionaire. My father is not.
Yeah, that's true.
See, talking about this generation setting example for them to follow.
Right.
Right. Chances are that they might not follow.
Right. There's
what if you do not even have a role model for them to follow?
Right. If they're just out there, if you're a very wealthy person and your children are just out there spending all your money, and you feel that you equate giving them lots of money is equated to loving them and taking care of them, it's probably not, because someday that child's going to have to grow up. Someday you're not going to be around.
Yeah.
Maybe the assets aren't going to be around. I don't know. I mean, things happen.
Nobody lives forever.
And no asset lives forever either. No business, no investment, none of that. So what happens with the child then? Then they become a ward of the state, or they go on welfare, or they die, or they go into heroin, or whatever.
The more we talk, the more we find it is a culture issue than a money issue.
I think in the wealthier section, yes.
You're right.
I would agree.
It's a culture issue.
Yeah.
It's the whole society, how we teach them,
right,
where we lead them.
Right.
You check bookstores. Any bookstores, right? You will seldom find a book what we are talking about. You will find how to make this, how to do that, how to do this and that. Millionaires, zillionaires, and gazillionaires, and trizillionaires, whatsoever, right?
Right.
And they're talking about that. And then they're talking about top 100, top 500, who is the richest, so on and so forth. And they seldom talk about the part that we talk.
Right. They seldom talk. They talk about, this is how I made money. I'm so much better than you. I have a book and all this other stuff. But it's not teaching you anything. It's not teaching you how does a parent go to a child and say, you need to learn
I recommend that sometimes we EDI provide you a platform that you do a seminar with the parents who call me.
Right.
We meet them in person, face to face.
I think that's a brilliant idea.
And we probably even want to ask them to bring the kids.
Right.
To talk about.
Right.
And you can probably do the calculation.
Yeah.
And to tell them what to do.
What they have to learn, and
very good.
I'd be happy to do that anytime.
Okay, very good. I'll keep that in mind. And
Okay.
My assistant will take a note about that.
All right.
My dear audience, today, once again, we're touching the money part. However, this time, we're more profound.
Yeah.
Because I'm supported, I'm encouraged by lots of audiences call me, give me feedback, very positive feedback. And this time the callers, among them, there are lots of mothers who worry about their kids because they are rich or not, they are supporting their kids.
Right.
Especially these days. You have the age over 45 still living under the same roof, which is incredible. I mean, unbelievable. Anyway, so let's take a very short moment now. When we come back, we'll continue finding the core of the culture still, please. Hello, my dear folks, my lovely audience, ladies and gentlemen, you guys, especially when you happen to be somebody's parents, you better listen, you better watch, because we're really talking about the important issues here. With me, my good friend, Stephen Hanley, a financial advisor, who stays very close with the show, with the audiences, got a huge response from my audiences asking him more and more questions. I believe you're happy when they ask that question because that indicates you hit the nail on the head.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Very good. Talking about parents setting good examples, right? The guy, the hotel guy, the story, that guy, he did have a good example, good role model. The son doesn't follow, right? Let alone the fact that sometimes the parents themselves, they do not watch what they do.
Right.
You teach your son silently, without language. They follow you, they copy you.
Right.
Right. So how do you recommend us, we generation, right, want to do in a way that will impress our sons and daughters in a positive way, please?
I think the first thing you do is really have to have an open communication with them.
All right.
And treat them like an adult. You're 17 years old or 18 years old, you're in the laws of the state of California, you're an adult.
Yeah.
So you treat them like an adult. Say, listen, son, a lot of times parents, because of the cultural issues of the 1950s are very close-minded about what they have financially. They're not going to show it to anybody. I know people of the generation before that who survived the 1929 crash won't show anybody their financial information. But I think you have to have an open line of communication. You have to be able to treat them like an adult and say, this is what you have. This is where I think you're going wrong because you're driving your Maserati instead of driving a Honda or whatever. And I think that you say to them, you know, I think it's time you stood on your own 2 feet and began to learn how I got to where I was today. By investing my money, by being frugal, by being, you know, intelligent about it, and being things shift around, things I move with that type of thing. And that way, you're not browbeating the child, you're not beating them up, you're treating them like an adult, but you're also saying to them, look, you need to learn this stuff because unfortunately, when I'm not going to be around, I can't help you. Nobody's going to come out of the woodwork. People are going to come out of the woodwork to take your money, believe me.
All right. Of course, you were talking about how parents technically can help their kids, right?
Right.
I'm more worried about the fact that those parents who do not even worry about money, they have plenty of money. They never thought money is a culture issue, and they never thought what they do will influence their kid and the rest of their life. Right? I give you an example. This might be another. This might belong to another category.
Right.
Before I got married, when I was still looking around, lots of people, my good friends, they're trying to do the matchmaking.
Okay.
And one of the introduction, I met with one lady, several other guests around the table. Okay.
Right.
Sitting there, about 5 minutes into the conversation, I got tired. I said, I want to go. I didn't say I want to go. I just
okay. All right.
sent a message to my friend. I can't stay. I want to go.
Right.
My friend said 10 more minutes, like that kind. So, what really kind of pisses me off, excuse my language, upset, was the way that lady within the 5-10 minutes, right?
Okay.
Her mind and the money. You have a ring. Oh, let me see.
Okay.
And then I saw the ring. Oh, nah, this is cheap. Hey, look at mine. Like that.
Okay.
And this.
All right.
And see this? See this? Yeah. And this one? Like that. Everybody, when you put up a subject, she follows right away. Overturns it.
Okay.
Overturns it.
All right.
All right. If you say apple is round, no, apple is a square, it's a cubic. Something like that.
Right.
And, well, you know, for that very moment, I said to myself, what kind of image it will put up for my son if I get involved with this lady.
Right.
So you know what I'm talking about, right?
I know. Good is never good enough. You know, you have a ring that maybe has sentimental value to you.
Yes, of course.
Maybe because you've got it from your grandmother or whatever, but it's not the newest diamond, or it's not, I've seen people like that. But people who continually try to one-upsmanship or flaunt what they have, they're not rich.
They are,
I'll be honest with you, they are not rich.
They're not actually rich.
They're not actually rich. They perceive in their mind that they're rich. They may think that they're rich, but if you really look at their lifestyle, they may be just living kind of hand to mouth type of thing, or living, and they have spent all their money on what they think
they have more money than you and I have, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But they are not rich.
They're not rich.
They're not rich, right? So my concern is that how they want to do themselves, I don't care.
Yeah.
Right? They are 50 years old already, right? Okay. I'm talking about if they had a son or daughter,
right?
The kids follow.
The kid is going to have
follow.
The kid, unfortunately, we have to have the latest and greatest of whatever is out there. And they'll always think that they're financially better than other people.
And then you're setting a very bad example to your kids. For example, when you and I sit here, I say, "Oh, Steve, I like your tie."
Okay.
Oh, that's a good compliment, right?
Right. Thank you.
And then, Steve, how much you pay for the tie?
Yeah, like $20.
Is that a good compliment?
Yeah.
That's not, because you put a tie with the money right away without being
Everything's
asked
tied to money. Yeah, but if they teach their children that, okay, that you have to have, you always have to have something better than the other person, that child is going to go perpetually in debt, because they're going to say, oh my gosh, I need to have the newest phone, and I can't have a $700 phone this year because I don't have the money for it. I'll just borrow the money and we'll pay for it. That type of thing. You put the wrong value on money. I agree. I'd have probably left myself. I've met people like that that say, oh, you know, I wear a $30 watch. To me, it's a tool. I need to know what time it is. I don't care. You know, I don't wear a Rolex.
A watch is a watch, right?
Yeah. And I'm also leery of people, especially in my field, who flaunt a lot of money, because whose money is it?
You're right. You see lots of rich people.
Whose money is it?
Yes.
If I'm a rich financial planner, I'm driving a BMW. Who paid for that?
You're right.
Jack Zhao and I want to be frugal.
You're right.
And for me, it's cultural too, because I come from a long line of very, how shall I put this? A very stringent Scottish people.
Okay.
Who kind of looked at every dollar as it was being spent, but that's okay.
Yeah, money has to be earned in a tedious way.
That's right.
Right. And you really have to put up something with it for it.
Right.
If you were born with a silver bone in your mouth, you're lucky.
Right.
Right. That doesn't mean you're denying of hard working. You still have to work hard, right? Okay, very good.
You still do.
All right. Now, with the parents setting wrong examples, the opposite examples. So, in the beginning, we talk about the credit card company and the parents working different directions, right? Now you're talking about the third push, because people setting bad examples,
right?
Lifestyle examples. So we really have to work hard. Exactly. My dear audience, my lovely audience, I sincerely hope that we have a healthy future led by our healthy next generation. Posterity leads our tomorrow. And well, of course, be you rich, be you not rich, is not important. We must have a healthy next generation. With me, my good friend Stephen Huntley is trying very hard to share his knowledge about how we want to live in a healthy way, not only us, but more importantly, to set a good example to our kids. So let's take a very short moment now. When we come back, we'll put together all the forces to push you from different directions against each other. And on top, you have the parents, okay, son, here's the money, go, right?
Yeah.
And the mother say, like the good example that I gave you. So our kids are kind of surrounded by that.
Yeah.
Right. So we'll be right back, please. Hello, my lovely friends, my dear audience. Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. When you are parents of somebody, please just watch this whole thing carefully, because we are trying so much to be referential to your education of your kids, because you're the one not only controlling your money, but also you are educating your kids, right? With me, my good friend, Stephen Huntley, financial advisor, who I rely upon personally, and lots of friends I refer to. Oh, by the way, if they call you, they call me. They call me, I refer to you.
Right.
And are you? I mean, do I have your permission to give number to
Sure,
my
of course.
audiences?
Yeah. Okay. My cell phone number is available all the time.
All right. Okay. And with the financial advisor, we want everybody to live healthily. Right. We want to do our best to teach our next generation to live healthily.
Right.
Right. Now, we mentioned about the credit card company pushing in a different directions.
Right.
Right. When we are trying so hard to teach our kids to be conservative, right? And they say, here's the money.
Right.
Now we see the society giving a wrong orientation, like the bookstore example.
Right.
And then on top of that, we're talking about some of the parents who think they are rich, which matter of fact are not that rich,
right,
are setting bad examples. I'm saying our kids are not the one to be blamed. They are surrounded.
That's
Your
right.
comment, please.
They are. And they're bombarded with this advertising. You have to have this. You can't live a good life unless you have the newest phone, the newest car, the newest whatever. And they're bombarded from their parents and saying, oh, you know, if you've got a parent that has a perception of wealth, that everything has to be the better, you're going to go, wait a minute, I'm going to be living my whole life just to satisfy my parents. You've got credit card companies that are trying to that will give you a credit card here. So, you know, and a child is studying, they're trying to get in life, not only social pressures because their friends are saying, you know, you have the old phone?
Oh, they compete.
You have a 6, I have a 7.
And the 8 is coming.
Yeah, and the 8 is coming. You got to get in line for it. So, you know, I think with a child like that, or you really have to kind of help them step back and say, okay, let's take a breather. Let's take a breath here. We'll sit down with you, figure out a plan for you. And believe me, I've done it lots and lots and lots of time with 18, 19-year-old children to say, adults, I should say, to say, look, this is, what do you really want? What do you want? Let's cut all this baloney off of what everybody's telling you want. What do you really want, and figure out a way to get it, you know? And a lot of people won't do that. A lot of people will just figure, how much money can I make off this kid? You know, like credit card companies or car companies or phone companies or whatever. And it's sad because a kid,
especially those young girls, right?
Yeah.
They sometimes notice, they sometimes buy for the purpose of not, they need the stuff. They just buy for the purpose of buying.
Right.
They feel good at the buying, that's it.
Right.
They feel good at spending, that's it. So you're saying that what you want.
Yeah, what do you want?
What do you want? And then there's the difference, I believe, there's still a difference between what you want and what you need.
Oh, there's a big difference.
Right? The big difference, right?
You need food, you need water, you need shelter, but what do you want? I want to be a doctor. Okay, then how do you get to be a doctor?
Okay.
You know, with if you're spending all your money on credit cards and new phones and blue
and
jeans.
we should, do you think, okay, I'm really thinking aloud, right?
Okay.
Talking about legislators.
Right.
They make laws of all kinds.
Right.
They can even make laws like the third bathroom.
Right.
Am I right?
That's true.
Do you think it is healthy for them to sit down, to work out law, to let schools teach what we're talking about?
I think schools should.
Lifestyle establishment, about the credit card handling, debt handling, or whatever.
I think that's absolutely imperative. You know, because what happens is when you graduate from high school, as an example, or from college, you're out in the world. You know, these things come at you. They look really good. The credit card application's simple. Everything's very easy to take care of.
Like I said, you're surrounded.
Yeah, you're surrounded, you know, and nobody's ever taught you what's the time value of money. How do you handle a checkbook? How do you handle a credit card application? What, you know, what happens with money? I mean, money comes in, money. All right. Children, when, you know, what is it taxation? Why are you getting taxed?
And also on the other side, on the contrary, teach them how to do the calculation of the multiplied interest, multiplied of income, or something like that, and then they learn 2 different books.
Right.
Do you think that's something? If we work together, you really remind me of something.
Right.
At my job, I got many chance to see the legislators.
Right.
Quite a few of them. Is it the right way to kind of like a call, to command them to create laws like that, to force schools to teach?
I think it
that's one of the basic subjects they want to learn.
Because you're teaching them English and the theory of economics, the theory. But you're not teaching them any basic life skills.
But you have social science, right?
Yeah.
You have social science, and then you inserted one lesson in social science.
And how to deal with this stuff.
Keep your own book.
Right.
Give them a situation that you have $3,500 income a monthly, you have wife and 1 kid. So go ahead and plan your life.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Right? and there are offers of credit card for 5%, 6%, 7%, so on and so forth, and then give them homework to do. How about that?
Right. I think that's brilliant. I think it would help them because give them real life. Nothing that's like fantasy. This is a real life situation where you're going to be living in a house. You're going to be want to buy it. You're going to be in an apartment. You're going to have debt. You're going to have a checkbook. You're going to have this.
Hey, would you please pick up your pencil?
Yeah.
Put it in text.
Sure.
That you and I will probably put up some kind of like a promotion to talk to our legislators.
Right.
To make laws into that.
Right.
Because that is very so positive.
Yeah. It's something that's just not done. It's maybe because they're kind of cheating the child out of a basic education. That's something they're going to have to deal with in life.
Yeah, you're right.
They're going to have to deal with it.
You're right.
That's just the way life is.
Right. And if, of course, now we know Americans are a kind of 5 or 10% spend on top of what they are worth. In other words, if they are worth $100, they're spending $105 or $110.
That's right.
Or in the worst scenario, even more.
That's right.
And it goes on and on in a rotation. And then say 105, right?
Yeah.
By the time of 105, and it is to the power of 20 years.
Right. So we're talking hundreds and
You're
hundreds
talking
of
hundreds
thousands
of dollars.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So why don't we not? Why don't we do it in a positive way? Let the rotation go to create money, create wealth for you.
Right.
So this is the part we want our kids to learn.
That's right. So they're not learning, oh, I'm always going to be in debt. They can learn, oh, this is good debt, this is bad debt. How do you save money when you're 18, 19 years old? Best way to save money is not to see it. Just kind of put into an account for you, that type of thing. That you're an important person. You're 18 years old. You're an adult. You're an adult. It's time to treat you like an adult. Okay. And adults have to deal with money, have to deal with investment, have to deal with taxation, have to deal with other things.
Probably the parents should explain to the kids like this.
Yeah.
The fact we keep you under the same roof because we have some surplus.
Right.
Right?
Right. Absolutely.
While surplus here, you better benefit better than anybody else benefit from it.
Right.
That doesn't mean that you have a immunism for the rest of your life. You don't have to work, never have to work now. You still have to work for your own money.
That's right.
Make them understand they are there. They are just so happen that way. It's not a guarantee. How about that?
Yeah, it's not a life guarantee. And I like the idea of the surplus. That the parents work so hard.
It's only a surplus.
We have some surplus. We'll help you out for a little bit, but eventually you're going to have to do it because either circumstances are going to take over.
Let them know the long run.
Yeah.
In the long run, they have to be on their own anyway.
Right.
Right.
And that should be the goal of a parent, is to get them on their own.
So now, we mentioned the culture.
Right.
We led it to education.
Right.
Right. And we brought it to school. Right. And from a school point, we stretched it to legislation.
Right.
Legislation should make laws to impose the school to do so.
Right.
And on the parent side, we want them say to the, what do we say to the kids?
Right.
To let them understand what they are living now is only so happened by chance some kind of surplus. That's it.
That's right.
It's not a guarantee.
Right. Exactly. And then that life will change.
Okay.
The only thing that I can guarantee in life is that it will change. Someday the parents are going to be there. How are you, the child, going to deal with that? Okay, on a financial level, not an emotional, but a financial level.
Exactly.
When suddenly it's not there, and then the parents have to be thinking: how are the parents going to transfer the wealth from them to the child? Are they going to say
the confusion is here? It is a total different thing.
Right.
How rich you are, and the future of your family. There are two different things.
That's right. Oh yes. Yeah. There are people whose families are extremely wealthy. The next generation, they blew it.
I heard a story about a guy who won the Super Lotto,
Yeah.
That time Super Lotto was, he won about 6 million. And within 2 years, he squandered everything.
Right.
And he came back to where he was, even only to find himself even worse, because he was once rich. During the time he was quote unquote rich, he made lots of friends unhappy.
Yeah.
Because he was rich.
Yeah.
And originally he had lots of friends around him.
Yeah.
For the 2 years being rich, outside being rich, and then came back to the point to find out, oh, he was not even where he was.
Yeah.
Something like that.
He's always behind it. You know?
Let's give us an example. $6 million can be squandered easy in 2 years.
Sure. $6 million. If you won $6 million, half of it goes to the government.
Okay.
That's taxation.
All right. So $3 million.
So you got $3 million. Okay. So if you take $3 million and let's say you go buy a house in some places in cities in this town, you're going to spend $3 million. Okay. There are $3 million. Okay. Then what are you going to live on?
But he squandered it.
You know, people squandered on all sorts. You know, there's the, and all the estate planning I've done with attorneys, I like to call it the cornfield effect. Cornfield means that you have a lot of money. Somebody pops up out of a cornfield and says, I'm your long lost cousin. I need $150,000 or I need $1 million. You know, oh sure, just take the money.
Yeah.
Suddenly it's all gone. The problem is it doesn't get replaced. You don't take $3 million and just go to a bank and say, I like $3 million.
There's no way of coming back.
Yeah, it doesn't come back, so it's gone, you know. Instead of using the money intelligently, what do you want for it? Put it away.
I would wish this guy bought himself a $3 million house.
Yeah.
Because the value increases anyway.
That's right.
Right? There's something is there, rather than squandering.
Right. Or he could have said, look, here's $3 million. I'm going to invest it. I'm going to continue to work. Yeah. When I get ready to.
A guy quit a job.
Yeah.
Guy quit.
Yeah.
All right. All right, my dear audience, today we did the third show in the same category, talking about finance, financial plan, with my dear friend, a wonderful financial advisor, using his supreme knowledge to talk about how we want to teach our kids. And especially this time, because we had lots of positive response from the second time. Even after this one, if your response gets bigger, I still have to bring Mr. Steve Hundley here. So, my dear audience, thank you very much for watching. And to Steve, thank you very much for sharing.